Hey, Steve Riley, welcome back to Great Practice, Great Life. Today, I have one of my longtime friends, co-conspirator, co-colleague, collaborator join us, and that is the one and only Shawn McNalis. Shawn, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks for having me back.
It's always great to have you back. It's like pulling teeth to get you back. You're like, oh, thanks for having me back. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like trying to get you on the podcast all the time. Yeah, thanks for having me back. You're so
Thank
funny.
you.
So, the reason I asked you to come on today's show is that you're working on a new workshop, and the workshop is called Habit Shift, but it really sounds like it's more of a performance shift, like helping people improve their performance. And in the conversation with you, there's a couple interesting traps, a couple interesting conversations that you and I have been having. And I thought our audience would enjoy listening to these, or at least exploring these, because these are probably the three big traps that we see just stopping growth cold in law firms, just freezing people on growing. So if a lawyer's trying to make more money, our team lead, associate, it doesn't matter if they're trying to up level their skill, they're trying to improve their performance, they get stuck. And these are kind of like invisible sticking points for me. And you and I were having this cool conversation about it. So I was like, why don't you come on and talk about it so we can get people thinking about maybe they can make a performance shift ahead of the workshop. Maybe they make a performance shift now out of this conversation. Does that work for you?
And certainly works for me.
So talk to me about this workshop, the intent of the workshop and what you're trying to do in the curriculum design of the workshop.
So it's called a habit shift, but it's really, as you said, a performance shift workshop. As we really work with attorneys to redesign, maybe even re-engineer how they spend their time. We help them protect their energy and align their efforts to get really high value results. We're focused on the highest and best use of their time. So we've done this with attorneys for years and their teams. And we've noticed that the patterns that keep people stuck aren't usually a lack of knowledge. So it's not about not knowing. There are these bad habits that have been formed and go unnoticed over the years. So this workshop really shines a light on these habits. And by the way, this workshop is really for everyone in the legal world. So if you're a sole practitioner, if you're a team leader, paralegal, staff member, Atticus alumni, it's really open to everyone, Steve.
Let's talk about trap number one. So if you're trying to coach a lawyer and you've been doing this for decades, right? And you've written our books, you've written a lot of content. But if you look at lawyers, they just get stuck. And once again, team lead, legal assistant, associate, doesn't matter. Just any human being who's trying to perform at a different level. Boom. What's the first place they get stuck?
Well, they get stuck in their bad habits, and it's the first one is um, the time starvation trap. So, if you consider yourself as somebody who sort of has what I would almost call hurry sickness, you're running, you're doing a lot, never enough time in the day. We're going to start out this presentation when we do it in June with a time audit because until you can see where your time's going, you can't fix it, right? So, most attorneys are distributing their time and energy over low leverage tasks. And the results they get are not up to the kind of high performance we would like to see. So, we're going to teach people how to defend their most strategic time blocks, create boundaries, and create space to really think and grow.
Okay, let's move to trap three. So, Shawn, what's trap three?
The success through sacrifice trap.
This one sounds this one sounds painful, Shawn. I don't like this one. Success through sacrifice. This one sounds very painful. I don't even like the title. All right. So what is it?
It's sort of the trap that we fall into, that if we work harder, if we work longer, success will eventually come. Unfortunately, by the time it comes, you're exhausted, and unclear, and perhaps even underpaid for all your efforts. It feels like the noble thing to do. The law of this culture rewards, um, exhaustion more than taking it easy. So it's something that's just a big part of the culture, and it's kind of that. It's one of those automatic underlying behaviors that we see when people come out of a law office, and it's something they need to examine for themselves. I hate to say the old saying, but it really isn't about working harder, or it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. And working smarter isn't about hustle, it's about leverage. We're all about leverage. So in the workshop, we talk about that 20% of tasks that drive 80% of the results. This is the old 80-20 rule. And it's so important that people apply this to their tasks and their activities so they can really get focused on what is the highest and best use of their time. So I'll give you another story. This is about Taylor. She was a solo practitioner. She's about 6 months into running her firm. She's doing everything. And she's a woman that thinks, I can do it all. She was doing the billing, the phones, the drafting, the intake. She kept saying to herself and anyone else that would listen, I can't find good people. They're just not out there. But after coming to one of our workshops, she realized that she was a big part of this problem. So she learned that she needed to offload a lot of these lower level tasks, protect her billable hours, right? So prioritizing revenue production and protecting her energy, so she can do other things that a sole practitioner needs to do, such as client development, managing, and marketing.
My challenge to you is for anyone who's listening that feels the same way I do about this. How do you help them find the time to do the investigation, the exploration, the learning, the behavior change to shift?
Well, I'd say it does take a little an investment of time, but I have 3 tips that I'd like everyone listening to listen to and decide if doing these 3 things, and they're kind of bold, might get them some time back in their life. The first one I'm going to start with is do a better job with client selection. As you know, we are all about ranking, clients A, B, C, and D. Well, it's the C and D clients that you're working with that are creating havoc, chaos in your firm, costing you a lot of extra time. C and D clients are uncooperative, they're late, they don't appreciate what you're doing, they don't send referrals, and they're just difficult to work with. So, my second tip, so do a better job in weeding these people out to begin with. My second tip is take the C and D clients that you've got right now, try to, if you can, graduate the C level to a B level, but take your D clients and fire some D clients. You can do it face to face, you can do it with a letter. Just do it. Sometimes it looks like referring them out to someone else that might better serve them. You can and you should do this for your own sanity. The final one is what I'm going to call just saying no, especially to your any volunteer organization that you're a part of and that you're probably overcommitted to. I've done this myself. I know what I'm talking about. It's easy to say yes. We want to help. We think it's marketing. But in many cases, you're just doing a lot of work and not getting paid for it. It's diluting your energy and really detracting at a certain point from the quality of your life. So, Steve, those are three kind of bold moves that I recommend people do to find a little bit more time in their life. And
I like it.
the workshop.